Hey everyone, it's Amanda from amandakugler.com, and I'm here with you with another video this week to talk about 5 different ways that you can tap into your intuition, that you can tap into the spiritual guidance that's available to all of us. And this has been the biggest thing I think that's made a difference in terms of that stuck feeling. And I hear it commonly amongst people that come to see me, and I think it's a very common feeling, that feeling of being stuck, that knowing that you're, not quite where you should be, but not exactly sure what the next step is. And that's when a lot of these practices can come into place to help you to move through that. So when I started out on my journey, it began with Reiki. The practice of Reiki is what definitely opened up my intuition. It opened me up to the possibility that there's more, that there is more for us to rely on, more for us to reach out to. There's more guidance out there for us. We have this wonderful team that surrounds us with love and is there to support us in our mission here on Earth. So if you are still searching for what that mission is, if you're searching for that next step, I strongly encourage you to reach out to that team, reach out in ways. So Reiki is the first way that I would recommend. So whether receiving a treatment, or for me, it was going through the trainings and going through the levels, it definitely grew with each one and the more that I practiced. But definitely during just receiving a session is a really special time where you're in a nice relaxed state, you're in a quiet state of mind. It helps get you to this another level of relaxation that is hard to get to, I found, without it. And when you're in this state, that's when you're more open and more receptive to receiving this guidance. We're more receptive to hearing and seeing and experiencing things. So if you're looking for a little bit of guidance, looking for some help, feeling stuck, feeling like you're needing some deeper healing, I would definitely recommend Reiki. And after I started to notice the intuition growing, things happening, I did branch out into some other practices. So I think the first one after my Reiki journey was moving into some of the oracle cards. So oracle cards are, if you're not familiar, card decks that have messages of either inspiration or guidance, usually areas that for you to look at, to improve on, to depending on what the deck is centered on. But like this one is called Healing with the Angels, so there's messages of healing. And the way that these work is that you'll ask a question. It can be general or it could be specific. What do I need to hear in regards to my career? There could be, something like that. And you'll shuffle the cards using your intuition, meaning when it feels right, you'll stop and pick one. There's different spreads and things that you can do to get a little bit more in depth and fancy with it. But I found in the beginning, just selecting a card a day to help guide me, to help give me a little bit of encouragement, I found really helpful. So that's another way that you can tap into that intuition, tap into the spiritual team that's there to help you. And a third way, after the cards and my journey, I think I went into someone had introduced me to what's called automatic writing. I did hold a workshop a couple months ago, and that was nice to have those people with me for that, where we did some practice with this, where automatic writing is tapping into your guidance again, your intuition, your spiritual team, through writing. So if you find yourself as someone who is really into writing, really is into journaling, even if you're not, because I wouldn't have thought that was me before, but I found it a really nice way to almost bypass our overthinking mind and just let things flow on the page. So you'll do the same thing. You'll ask a guiding question. What do I need to hear about this situation? How can I support this area of my life? Whatever kind of question you want to ask. And then you'll sit with it for a minute. And then you just start writing. It's as simple as that. And just let the words flow. Just let it come out. And I think you'll be surprised at what comes. I think you'll be surprised what comes out on the page. And I've always find that one very helpful. Another one that I did after that, I think, was a pendulum. So this is my pendulum. It's kind of cool. It has the all different crystals that make up the 7 colors of the rainbow here. And a pendulum is another, divination tool, they would say, but another way to access the spiritual guidance or the intuition. And there are many ways to use a pendulum, again, that can be used for different purposes. But one that might be relating to this, that what we're talking about now, is using it to, sometimes I ask yes/no questions. So with a pendulum, you can determine a yes response and a no response before you begin. So just asking as simply as, what is a yes? And then you'll see it either spin in a circle or straight side to side, things like that. And then just you can ask your questions. I think sometimes you may find your spiritual team does want you to also take some active role in your decision making. So if you find that you're getting kind of wonky answers or it's not really flowing, it may be time to take a break and kind of just go with what you know. Oftentimes we kind of know what we should do next, but we're either doubting ourselves or something like that. So sometimes you may be getting a nudge from your team to just go for it and stop asking.